Hello everyone, this is Bill with Yarn Crafts for Lefties. I received a video request from Leah on how to do a garter tab cast on for shawls. A shawl is a slightly different animal from what we're used to working with because most shawls start from a center point and build their way outward, getting bigger, which is kind of a cool feature. Now, to do the garter tab cast on, which you'll find very often in triangular shawls, what we're going to do is a small section of garter stitch. We could do, might tell you to do 2, might tell you to do 5. I went with 4 here because it shows up a lot better for the camera than with 2. Here we can really see we have garter stitch happening. If you're told to start with 2, all you would do is cast on 2 stitches and work garter stitch for the number of rows that you've been told to. I'm going to do 6 rows in garter, so I'm going to turn my work the way we normally would when working flat, and I'm just going to do my 6th row now. Notice I'm just doing regular knitting, nothing strange, crazy, or funky. So now that I have gotten the work where I need it to be, you will have done your garter tab, which is what this part is, for the number of rows that your pattern has told you to. Then your pattern is going to tell you to turn your work 90 degrees. This is a point that will usually confuse most people the first time. We're used to turning our work like this so we can knit some more. That's not what we're doing here. I finished my row. My working yarn is to the last stitch on my needle, so turning 90 degrees is going to be this. Once I've turned 90 degrees, my pattern is going to tell me to pick up a certain number of stitches along this edge. So I'm going to pick up 3 stitches because I have 3 very nice garter edges. 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to pick up 3 stitches from along here. And we are going to really be looking to pick them up and make life simple. There's 1, and you can pick them up, whoops, preferably better than I just did there. You can pick them up by inserting your needle into the loop, wrapping around, and then lifting over. If it's loose, you can do it. If it's tight, you have an option of taking your other double-pointed needle and inserting it into the loop. I like using double-pointed needles for this cast on because if I can't get in from one direction with the double-pointed needle, I can just get it in, slide, and my life has just gotten very simple. And the point of that is just to make space. I'm going to insert this needle into the loop. And now I've gotten that one there. And now I'm going to pick up one more. And I just want to see the loop that I want to use. I'm going to use this one. And now I've picked up 3 stitches. And I've literally made it all the way to the edge. Now, you will usually see it tell you to turn 90 degrees again. I'm going to turn 90 degrees. Now, we're going to be picking up stitches in our cast-on edge at this point. And you will usually find that your pattern is going to tell you, for your garter tab cast-on, to pick up the same number of stitches as you originally cast on. So if it told you to cast on 2 here, you will most likely be picking up 2 here. Since I cast on 4 here, I'm going to pick up 4 here. This part can be a little difficult to work into because it is your cast on edge. So again, that's why I like doing this with double pointed needles. As you can see, I don't have a lot here, so it'll be very easy to transfer to something else when I'm done. So now I'm going to need to pick up 4 stitches. And I'm going to pick up the first one here. And again with the double pointed needle, if you can't get in one way, get in another. So 1, and I'm just picking up a stitch. Now the next one will be easier because I've already picked the first one up. The trick is just finding where you want to pick it up. Once you've found a spot, go with it. See, that was much easier to get through. There was 2. This part can start getting a little tight when you're working with multiples, so I'm going to use my double pointed needle to get in there. If I can't get in from one direction, I'm going to get in from another. Here we go. Now I'm just going to put the needle through, wrap my yarn like we would for a knit stitch, and then draw that through. That was 3, and now I got to pick up the last one, which can be the bugger. So I've gotten that in, and I'm just putting the tip through the loop. I'm ignoring this needle because all it's doing is holding space. I'm going to wrap around as if I were wrapping for a knit stitch. And then I'm going to use this to help lift that last one over because this is tight. The more you've cast on, the tighter that last edge is going to tend to be. So now we will have 4 stitches here, 4 stitches here, and our 3 in the middle. What's going to happen is these 4 and this 4 are going to give you your edges that will fan outward. The middle stitches are where you're going to be doing your increasing and your pattern work. From this point on, you're going to be turning the way we normally would. We turn back and forth because you're working in the flat now. So at this point, your turns are normal. When you're doing your cast on, once you finish doing the tab, which is that first part of knitting back and forth that gives you that length, you're turning 90 degrees, picking up stitches. Turning 90 degrees, picking up stitches. Once you've picked up all the stitches you need, you're ready to start knitting your shawl. I hope you found this video from Yarn Crafts for Lefties helpful. This is Bill. Happy knitting.